Okay, let's start today with the absolute biggest question there is.
Oh boy.
Yeah, right? It's a question that sounds simple. Maybe even, a little cliche, the kind of thing you'd see printed on a coffee mug or maybe a yoga mat.
Right, right.
But stick with me on this, because the answer, or actually the specific lack of an answer, might just break your brain a little bit.
I think I know exactly where you're going with this. It's that three-word question that usually leads to an existential crisis at like 3 in the morning.
Exactly. The question is simply, who are you?
4 words, infinite complexity.
Right. Who are you? And I want to be really specific here. I don't mean what is your name?
Yeah.
I don't mean what do you do for a living? Are you a father, a mother, an accountant, a rock climber? I mean fundamentally, at the absolute bedrock level.
Stripping all that away.
Exactly. If you strip away the job title, the
Mm.
family history, the hobbies, the trauma, the memories, what is left?
Mm.
Am I just this mind, this
Yeah.
voice talking right now? Am I the physical body that's housing the mind? Am I the ghost in the machine?
It is the ultimate riddle.
Mm.
And historically, people have come up with all sorts of answers to try and plug that hole.
Yeah,
Some people go the religious route and say, uh, I am a soul, a creation of God placed into this body for a test.
right.
Others go the hard materialist route, like I am a biological machine. I am meat and electricity and hormones, and when the battery dies,
Lights go out.
the lights go out. Exactly.
Or maybe even the sci-fi route, right? Like,
Yeah.
am I a descendant of some ancient alien race? Am I just simulation code running on a server?
Right. And yet, despite all those potential answers, despite thousands of years of philosophy and science, most of us still walk around with this profound sense of mystery about it.
We really do.
We feel like we are these lonely little sparks of consciousness trapped inside a bag of skin,
Yeah.
navigating a world that is totally separate from us.
And that is exactly where we are going today. We are taking a deep dive into the philosophy of the English philosopher, writer, and speaker, Alan Watts.
A giant, an absolute titan when it comes to interpreting Eastern philosophy for a Western audience.
He really was, and Watts believed that who am I is the single most important question a human being can ask.
Mm.
But, and here's the kicker that really hooked me on this topic when we were preparing. He also believed it is a riddle that we are notoriously terrible at solving.
Yeah, that's the fascinating part.
He argued that we are actually biologically, psychologically, and linguistically wired to get the answer wrong.
That's the core of it. We are operating under a case of mistaken identity. We think we are one thing, but we are actually something entirely different. And the stress, the anxiety, the fear of death, it all stems from this one fundamental mistake.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward, even if the concepts aren't. We are going to deconstruct the illusion of the separate self.
Yes.
We're going to look at why you feel like a you inside a body and why Watts argues that feeling is a complete hallucination.
We're going to explore some ideas that might feel extremely counterintuitive. We'll look at the paradox of the skull, the analogy of the apple tree, and why the universe requires you just as much as you require it.
I have to say, going through this research, there were moments where I literally had to put the notes down and just stare at the wall for a minute.
It gets trippy.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. It's trippy, but it's also weirdly logical. It's not magic. It's geometry.
It is. That's the beauty of his approach. He takes these mystical concepts from Zen and Taoism and applies this rigorous, almost mathematical logic to them.
Yeah.
But to get there, we have to do some unlearning. What's fascinating here is that we have to actively dismantle our basic perception of reality to understand what he's actually talking about.
So let's start with the difficulty of the question itself. Who am I so hard to answer? Why can't I just, look at myself and know?
Well, think about the mechanics of seeing, the mechanics of observation. You can look at a tree, right?
Sure. I can see the tree outside the window right now.
You can look at a car.
Yeah.
You can look at your own hand. You can wiggle your fingers and watch them move.
Right?
But can you look at your own eyes?
I mean, in a mirror, sure.
But that's a reflection. That's light bouncing off a silvered surface and coming back to you. That is an image of your eyes. You cannot directly look at your own eyes with your own eyes. You can't turn your gaze around 180 degrees and stare at the thing that is doing the staring.
Right, right. It's physically impossible.
He uses a very specific, visceral metaphor for this difficulty. He says trying to define yourself, trying to catch who you are, is like trying to bite your own teeth.
Try to bite your own teeth. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine the gymnastics required for that right now.
You can't do it. Your teeth are the tool. They're the instrument you use to bite other things. They are the subject, the actor. They cannot be the object, the thing being bitten.
Got it.
In the exact same way, you are the thing that is doing the looking, doing the thinking, doing the feeling. You cannot turn around and catch yourself in the act of being you.
Because you're too close.
You are zero distance from yourself. The subject cannot become the object. So whenever we try to define I, we usually end up defining our history or our body or our preferences.
Things we can actually observe.
Exactly. We say, I am a guy who likes jazz and hates pickles.
Right.
But that's just a list of data. That's not the I that is experiencing the jazz or the pickles.
That makes so much sense. It's like a flashlight trying to shine light on itself. It can illuminate everything else in the dark room, the table, the chair, the dust bunnies, but the source of the light remains completely in the dark.
Precisely. The flashlight can never illuminate the bulb. And this inability to see the source leads to what he calls the primary illusion, the optical delusion of consciousness.
The illusion of separateness.
Yes.
Okay, let's unpack this illusion, because I definitely feel separate.
We all do.
I feel like I am in here, inside my skin, and the world is out there.
Right. That is the standard human operating system. We feel like we are a little homunculus, a little pilot sitting somewhere behind the eyes or between the ears.
Working the lever.
Exactly. We are in here, looking out at the sky, the traffic, the other people. We feel like we are confronting the world.
Confronting is a really good word for it. It feels like me versus the environment. I navigate through it, I survive in it, but I'm not it. The world is the stage and I am the actor.
And that feeling of separateness is the primary illusion. We are not isolated fragments. We are not strangers walking around in a foreign land. We are intertwined with the whole thing in a way that is just inextricable.
This is where we get into what I'm calling the mind-world symbiosis. Because the research points out something that seems obvious when you think about it, but has wild implications.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't have an outside without an inside.
It goes back to how we perceive reality. We assume that the world out there looks exactly like we see it, even if we aren't looking at it. We assume that if every human died tomorrow, the world would still look like a National Geographic photograph.
Right.
But let's break that down neurologically.
Okay, let's take color. Let's take a red rose.
Right. Is a rose red?
Well, yeah. If I look at it, it's red.
But what is red?
Yeah.
Physically, in the external world, there is no red. There is no such thing as color floating around in the air.
Okay, so what is there?
There are electromagnetic waves, photons bouncing off the flower at a specific frequency. But red, the experience of redness, the quality of that color is a translation.
It's an internal event.
It is a neurological event that happens inside your brain. Without the eye to receive the photon and the brain to translate that frequency into an image, there is no color. There's just energy.
So without the mind, there are no color.
No colors. No sounds. Think about it. Sound is just vibration in the air until it hits an eardrum and is processed by a nervous system.
No smells, no texture.
Exactly.
So if you take away the
You
model,
take away the world as we know it. The qualities that make up our reality, light, heat, texture, sound, these are all internal events. They happen inside us, not outside us.
this leads to that skull paradox that I found so dizzying at first, but I think I'm getting it now. It's this weird loop.
It is a dizzying geometry. Let's trace it carefully, because this is where people usually get lost.
Okay, lay it on me.
Point A. Physically, we agree that the things we perceive, the trees, the cars, this microphone right here, are located in three-dimensional space outside of your skull.
Right. The microphone is on the table, not in my head. If I take a tape measure, I can measure the distance from my nose to the mic. It's about, 6 inches?
Correct. But point B, the image of the microphone, the sensation of the table, the experience of the room, where does that happen?
That happens in the brain, inside the skull.
So here is the climax of the paradox. The skull is in the world, but the world is also in the skull.
Whoa, okay, say that again slowly.
The skull isn't objects in the world. You can touch your head. It's physically there in the room.
Uh-huh.
But the world as you experience it, the visual field, the sounds, the depth, is an object in the skull. They contain each other.
That is the aha moment right there. It completely destroys the idea that there is a hard, distinct line between in here and out there. It's a loop.
It's a mutual existence, a symbiotic relationship. The mind and the world cannot exist without each other. If you remove the human mind, the human world collapses instantly.
The source material made a really cool point here about other worlds. It said that if you remove humans, the world doesn't disappear entirely, but the human world does. And what's left might be the world of dogs or the world of flies.
Exactly. Think about a dog's world. It's not dominated by color or language or, stock prices.
Thank goodness for them.
Right. It's a landscape of smells. A dog walks down the street and experiences a symphony of odors that we are completely blind to. It's a totally different reality.
Or a fly, seeing with compound eyes, perceiving motion in a way we can't even comprehend.
Their world is there. But our world, the world of red roses and blue skies, that vanishes when we vanish.
But let's push it further because Watts does push it further. What if you remove all consciousness? Not just humans, but dogs, flies, bacteria, everything that can sense anything.
If you remove every witness, then the universe becomes irrelevant.
Irrelevant, that's a really strong word.
But think about it. Imagine a universe with absolutely no beings to possess any form of consciousness. No eyes to see, no ears to hear, no skin to feel warmth. Even if there are stars burning, if there is no one to register the light, is it bright?
Wow. It's the ultimate if a tree falls in the woods scenario.
It really is. If there's nothing to take notice of the universe, does the universe exist? He argues that without a witness, there is no there. There is no distance, no time, no quality. It's just a void.
I can hear the skeptics right now, though. I can hear someone shouting at their speakers, no, the rocks would still be there. Physics is real. Gravity doesn't care if I'm watching.
And that is the philosophical checkmate he loves to use. If someone objects and says, but the universe would still be there, he would say, you are cheating.
Cheating how?
Because by imagining the universe still being there, you are smuggling a mind back into the picture. You are imagining it. You are the ghost witness in that scenario. You are picturing the rocks sitting there in the dark. The very objection implies the presence of a mind to hold the idea of being there. You cannot escape the need for an observer.
That is wild. So we aren't just living in the universe, we are creating the universe in a sense, or at least we are the absolute condition for the universe to exist as a reality.
We evoke the world, just as the world evokes us. It is a relationship, not a confrontation.
This brings us to the next big shift in perspective. If we are this connected to the world, why do we feel like strangers here? The source talks about this guest fallacy.
This is a really important distinction in how we view human origins. The standard Western view, and even the scientific view, largely or at least how it's taught to kids, is that we are guests.
Guests. Like we just showed up.
Right. The story usually goes, for billions of years, the Earth was a dead rock. Just geology, volcanoes, fluids, gas, a dead planet spinning in a cold vacuum. And then suddenly, by some fluke or divine intervention, intelligence was thrown into it. Life arrived. We crawled onto the stage from somewhere else.
It's very disconnected. It's like the stage was built and then the actors were just dropped in from a helicopter.
Exactly. It frames us as alien to the environment. We're confronting a hostile or indifferent rock. It sets up a war, man versus nature. We have to conquer the Earth because we don't really belong to it. We're just trying to survive on it.
But the growth reality flips this completely.
Growth reality, yes. He says, we did not come into this world. We came out of it.
We came out of it. I love that line. It sounds so simple, but it changes the whole vector of existence.
Think about the core analogy he uses. It's one of his absolute best. He says, the Earth implies people in the same way an apple tree implies apples.
Okay, let's let that sink in for a second. An apple tree implies apples.
When you see a tree in winter, it looks dead. It's just wood and bark. It's gnarly. It looks like it's sleeping. But come spring and summer, it blossoms and produces apples. You don't say the apples are guests on the tree. You don't say the apples are alien invaders that just landed on the branches. The apples are the expression of the tree. They are what the tree does.
So by that logic, Earth is a peopling planet.
Exactly. Our planet peoples, just as it oceans and forests. We are the fruit of this particular rock.
That means that dead rock we talk about, it wasn't dead.
No. It contained the potential for Shakespeare, for Einstein, for you and me. The potential for intelligence was baked into the geology from the very beginning.
That implies that there is no true separation between a human being and a rock.
Physically, chemically, historically, there isn't. We are the same stuff. We are just the stuff arranged in a way that can talk. We are the minerals of the earth that have stood up and started looking around.
But we have this huge arrogance about it, don't we? We feel superior to the rocks.
Oh, absolutely. We look at the dirt, the sand, the rocks, and we think, I am conscious, I am intelligent, I am above this inert matter. We treat the earth like it's just raw material for our use.
I'm better than dirt.
But he points out the absurdity of that. It would be like an apple sitting on a branch, thinking, I am so much better than this gnarly, rough bark. I'm red and sweet and shiny. That bark is just wood.
But without the bark?
No apple. The apple is entirely dependent on the root system, the bark, the leaves. In the exact same way, We are more complex than the sand in the Sahara or the water of the Pacific, sure, but we are entirely dependent on them. Without the lower elements, the higher complexity cannot exist.
So our complexity doesn't make us separate, it makes us the leading edge.
The expression, we are the flowering of the universe.
This leads us to what I think is the most poetic part of this whole philosophy. If we are the fruit of the universe and we are conscious, then the universe is conscious.
This is the cosmic witness concept. Synthesize what we've just said. 1, the world depends on a mind to be perceived. 2, the mind comes out of the world like an apple from a tree. So we are the mechanism through which the universe perceives itself.
That is genuinely beautiful.
There's a quote from the source material that really captures this. Through our eyes, the universe is perceiving itself. Through our ears, the universe is listening to its harmonies.
I want to read the rest of that quote because it literally gave me chills when I read it. We are the witnesses through which the universe becomes conscious of its glory, of its magnificence.
It completely reframes the whole so what of human existence. We often feel small, like insignificant specks on a tiny rock in a vast, cold void.
Yeah, you look at those Hubble Deep Field images and you just feel like nothing.
But this view flips it entirely. We aren't specks. We are the sensory organs of the cosmos.
We are the eyes of God, essentially, or the eyes of the Tao, whatever you want to call it.
We are the universe waking up to look at itself. Without us, the universe is just invisible energy playing in the dark. With us, it's a show, it's a drama, it's glorious.
So if I am the universe perceiving itself, what happens to me? What happens to the guy who likes pizza and worries about his taxes?
Ah, well, here is the hard pill to swallow. That guy. That's separate self. That is the illusion.
This brings us to the no self, the part that challenges everything about how we live our daily lives.
The illusion of the ego.
He uses this metaphor of the wave, right?
Yes. Think about the ocean. You see a wave moving toward the shore. You can point at it and say there is a wave. It has a shape, it has a height, it has a velocity. You can give it a name. You can say, that's a big wave.
Sure.
But is the wave a separate object from the ocean?
No, it is the ocean. It's
Yeah.
just the ocean moving in a certain way.
Exactly. You can't take a bucket, scoop up the wave, and take it home. You just get water. The wave is an action, not a thing. It is a happening.
And he argues that human beings are the same.
We are products of change. We are walking and talking bundles of happenings. We are events.
I like that. I'm not a noun, I'm a verb.
You are the universe humaning in a specific place and time. But we are obsessed with finding a solid, permanent entity inside us. A central soul. A little pearl of me that doesn't change.
And this connects deeply to Buddhism, specifically the concept of anatta, or no self.
Right. The Buddhist connection is very strong here. The idea of no self is notoriously hard for Westerners to grasp because our language and culture are built entirely on the individual. We are addicted to concepts.
We want a concrete I to hold on to. We want to be the statue, not the wave.
But reality doesn't have borders.
Reality is fluid.
It's uncontained. But the mind, which is the tool we use to navigate, hates fluidity. It wants to grab things.
This is the trap of concepts. I found this part really practical, actually. It explains why we get so stressed out all the time. We are trying to freeze a flowing river.
That's a great way to put it. He talks about categorization as a cage. We try to control the universe by cutting it up into little boxes.
We name things. This is a tree. That is a cloud. This is a Republican. That is a communist.
Imagine trying to grab a handful of water. As long as your hand is open and moving with the water, you are in contact with it.
Yeah.
But the moment you close your fist to grasp it, to possess it, it slips through your fingers.
And concepts are exactly like closing your fist.
Exactly. Categorizing is building a cage around a piece of reality and naming it. But as soon as you cage it, you lose the essence of it, because the essence is movement and change.
There's a great example about a child in the source material. The naming paradox.
Yes. Think about it. You have a baby. You name him John.
Okay, little John. Cute kid.
10 years pass. Every single cell in John's body has likely been replaced or changed. His personality is different. His thoughts are different. He is taller, smarter, angrier, happier. He is a completely different event.
But we still call him John.
We cling to the static name. We act as if John is a fixed object. But John is just a label we stuck on a flowing river of biological change. We mistake the name for the reality.
It creates this web of ideas that we get stuck in. The source mentions things like nationalities and roles. Chinese, Dutch, republic, monarchy.
These are all social constructs. They aren't real in the physical sense. You can't touch a republic. You can't weigh a nationality. These are rules we created for how to relate to one another. But we get lost in the web. We think the map is the territory.
That's the key phrase. The map is not the territory.
We confuse the symbol with the real thing. We eat the menu instead of the meal.
There's this accountant fallacy mentioned in the notes. If I ask someone, "Who are you?" they usually give me a label.
I am an accountant. I am a woman. I am an Englishman. I am a Democrat.
And the verdict is, that's not you.
Those are just features. They are constraints. They are the rules of the game you are playing right now. But they are not the player. They overlook the borderless nature of your actual being. If you define yourself as an accountant, you are making yourself very small. You are defining yourself by a social convention.
It's like saying, "I am the clothes I'm wearing."
Precisely. And when the clothes wear out or the job is lost, people have massive identity crises because they thought they were the label.
So if the labels are fake and the concepts are cages, how do we talk about what is real? How do we get to the bottom of this?
Well, we run into the limits of language. This is the section we call "The menu is not the meal."
I really love that line. The menu is not the meal.
You can go to the best restaurant in the world. You can pick up the menu. You can read the description of the steak. Juicy, tender, seared to perfection. You can even eat the paper the menu is printed on.
Please don't eat the menu.
But you will not get the nourishment of the steak. The description is not the thing described.
And the argument is, our self is the meal, and our words are just the menu.
Exactly. We are trying to find who we are by reading the menu. We are looking for a definition in a dictionary. But you cannot define the undefinable. You cannot define the thing that is doing the defining.
It reminds me of that Taoist saying, the Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao.
That's the one. As soon as you put it into words, you've killed it. You made it static. But you are not static. You are a happening. You are a process.
It's the impermanence problem. Even if we wrote down exactly who you are right this second, every thought, every cell, every feeling by the time the ink dries.
You have changed. You are new. The description is obsolete.
So we've spent all this time tearing apart every answer we usually give. We aren't the body, because the body is just the earth growing. We aren't the mind, because the mind is just a reflection of the world. We aren't our name, our job, or our ego.
We have stripped the house down to the studs. We've taken away the floorboards.
So what is the answer? What is the final verdict here? Who are we?
And here's the brilliance of it. The final answer is a non-answer.
A non-answer, after all that logic.
He uses detailed explanations. He uses logic. He uses metaphors. He talks for hours. But ultimately, he offers no definitive verbal answer to, who am I?
Why not?
Because giving an answer would just be another concept, another cage. If he gave you a sentence, you would just cling to that sentence. You'd say, aha, I am the cosmic witness. And you'd turn that into a new ego trip.
I'm the best cosmic witness there is. Look at me witnessing.
Right. It defeats the purpose. So in the source material, the discussion ends in a very specific way. It doesn't end with a summary. It doesn't end with a definition. It ends with a sound.
The gong.
A gong sound.
Why?
Because the answer isn't a sentence. It's an experience. The sound of the gong isn't an idea. It's a vibration. It rises, it fills the space, and it fades into silence.
And that silence, that presence, that is what we are.
We are the listening. We are the experiencing. We are the space in which the gong sounds.
It's the silence after the noise.
That's where you find the self. Not in the chatter of the mind, but in the background that allows the chatter to happen.
This has been heavy, but in a really good way. It feels like taking off a backpack I didn't know I was wearing.
It's the burden of the separate self. It's exhausting trying to be a separate entity, constantly fighting the universe. It's a profound relief to realize you are the universe.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? How do you take this into your Tuesday afternoon? Because we still have to pay taxes and go to work.
I think it changes how you walk through the world. If you realize you are not a stranger, you stop feeling so alienated. You stop feeling like the world is something you have to conquer or defend against.
You belong here.
You don't just belong here. You are here. You are the here.
And it creates a sense of connection. If I am the universe perceiving itself and you are the universe perceiving itself,
then we are just the universe looking at itself from two different vantage points. There's no real conflict. Just play. It turns life from a battle into a dance.
I absolutely love that.
It's the ultimate removal of loneliness. You can't be lonely if you are everything.
So here is our final provocative thought for you to mull over. We want to challenge you. Next time you are in front of a mirror, Look at yourself. Look right into your eyes.
And ask yourself, am I the face in the glass? Or am I the universe looking at the glass?
Don't look for an answer in words. Just feel the question.
And listen for the silence.
That is it for this deep dive into the illusion of the self. Keep questioning, keep unlearning, and as always, stay curious.
See you next time.